Welcome to a guided meditation for when you're feeling embarrassment on Declutter the Mind. Embarrassment is a universal human emotion that arises whenever we perceive ourselves as having made a mistake or appearing foolish in front of others. And so while it's uncomfortable, embarrassment serves as an evolutionary purpose. It signals our awareness of social norms and our desire to maintain positive relationships. However, when embarrassment becomes overwhelming or persistent, it can lead to avoidance behaviors and increased anxiety in social situations. And so, in today's practice, we're going to combine mindful awareness with self compassion to help you develop a healthier relationship with embarrassment. And we'll learn to observe these feelings without becoming consumed by them, while cultivating the understanding that making mistakes is part of being human. And so let's start here by finding a comfortable seated position, resting our hands in our lap, sitting with our back upright and comfortable. Starting with a deep inhale through the nose, grounding our attention before exhaling slowly through your mouth. Gently closing your eyes here, and then allowing the breath to return to a comfortable and natural pace, allowing the body to breathe all on its own, bringing your attention to the breath. There's no need to change it. We simply observe the sensation of breathing in, breathing out, noticing where we feel the breath most clearly. Maybe it's in your nostrils, it's your chest, your abdomen, and we use this as an anchor for the next few moments. And if your mind wanders to thoughts, maybe to thoughts about embarrassing situations, that's completely normal. We simply acknowledge these thoughts and then gently return our attention to the breath. And now let's explore the nature of embarrassment itself. Think of a recent situation where you felt embarrassed. Nothing too overwhelming, just something that made you feel self conscious or foolish. And notice what happens in your body as you recall this moment. Maybe there's a warmth in your face, a tension in your shoulders, a sinking feeling in your stomach. And then rather than pushing these sensations away or adding a story to these thoughts or becoming caught up and allowing our inner critic to voice itself, we practice observing these feelings with curiosity, noticing that embarrassment has both mental and physical components. And the thoughts might sound something like, everyone thinks I'm stupid, or I can't believe I did that. And then the physical sensations might include increased heart rate, muscle tension, or changes in temperature. And embarrassment often stems from our assumption that others are judging us as harshly as we're judging ourselves. But people are generally much less focused on our mistakes than we imagine. This is often called the spotlight effect. We overestimate how much attention others pay to our actions. And so let's practice observing embarrassment without getting caught up in its story. And so imagine embarrassment as a wave in the ocean of your mind. Waves arise, they reach their peak, and then they naturally subside. They don't define the ocean, they are temporary movements on its surface. And so let's bring that embarrassing situation back to mind gently. And then, as the feelings arise, imagine yourself stepping back and observing them from a distance. And then you might say to yourself, I notice embarrassment arising. I notice thoughts about being judged. I notice physical sensations and tension. And this helps create space between you and the emotion. And now let's cultivate some self compassion here. You can place a hand on your heart or chest if it feels right. And then remembering here that embarrassment is part of the human experience. Every person you've ever met has felt embarrassed at some point. And so you're not alone in this feeling. And so here we can speak to ourselves with the same kindness we'd offer a good friend who is feeling embarrassed. You might say internally, this is a moment of suffering. Embarrassment is a part of life. May I be kind to myself. May I remember that making mistakes is how I learn and grow. And then let's expand this compassion outward. We can think about others who might have witnessed our embarrassing moment. And we can recognize that they too have experienced embarrassment, that they too have had moments of feeling foolish or self conscious. And so there's no need for judgment here, only understanding. And now let's practice reframing embarrassment as information rather than judgment. And so when we feel embarrassed, it often signals that we care about how we are perceived by others. And this isn't weakness, it's evidence of our social awareness and our desire to connect positively with people around us. And embarrassment can also be a teacher. It might show us areas where we want to grow, or skills we want to develop, or simply remind us that we are willing to take risks and try new things. And maybe too, we can take ourselves a little less seriously. It shows a little bit of humility. And so, with that, let's bring our attention back to breathing, the body breathing all on its own. And noticing that throughout this entire practice, your breath has continued steadily supporting you. Your body has remained stable and grounded, even as you explored difficult emotions. And just maintain a grounded awareness of the breath the next few moments. And if the mind gets caught up in thoughts or thinking, we can note it as thinking, and then gently bring our attention back to the breath. Whenever you become distracted or lost in thought, you can note the object of distraction before gently bringing your attention back. And as we prepare to close out this practice, just take a moment to appreciate your willingness to explore this difficult emotion. It takes courage to look directly at embarrassment rather than avoiding it. And so, this practice of mindful awareness is building your emotional resilience. And again, remembering that embarrassment, like all emotions, is temporary. It rises, it peaks, it passes. And so, by practicing mindful awareness and self compassion, you are developing the skills to navigate these moments with greater ease and less suffering. And when you are ready, gently open your eyes and notice how you feel. Thanks for sitting, and I'll see you next time. Thanks again for taking the time to practice. If you've enjoyed this practice, please be sure to like and subscribe. You can also join and become a member and receive access to courses and more. Head on over to declutterthemind.com for more and download our free iOS and Android app.